Dear friends, good afternoon on this beautiful Sunday. Beautiful weather. We've really been treated with great weather, which I'm sure is bringing up everyone's spirits. And especially that we are moving this week to opening up our shuls, obviously in a very restricted, limited way to get started. But we're very excited about this, and it's going to be a great week. But really, today, in our Inspiration Series number 73, we're going to dedicate this week to teachings from the Rebbe. The Rebbe inspired a generation. This week is the yahrzeit of the Rebbe on Wednesday night, Thursday, the 26th yahrzeit since his passing. And though the Rebbe is not with us physically, he's with us spiritually, leading the Jewish people, inspiring. We see it in our Chabad house. We see it with individuals, and take what I see and multiply that by 5,000 others that are seeing it on a daily basis. And the inspiration that the Rebbe had begun, the people he had inspired, had spread so far that 26 years after his passing, Chabad has grown exponentially beyond anyone's imagination. Today, Chabad is the biggest force in Jewish life in the world. Wherever you go, not only in far-off places where people may travel for business or tourism, but in the cities which have had an established Jewish community. Take Montreal, a great Jewish city, a city that has been strongly Jewish for a long time, but yet there has been a lack in Jewish identity in terms of education, the tools to have pride for our heritage and what we stand for and our values. And this is something which Chabad has brought here in our city. And today Chabad is the largest network in Montreal. There are 30 Chabad houses throughout Montreal. And this is happening in Toronto, in Vancouver, in New York, in Chicago, in LA, in Miami. Wherever you go, it's the same story. In London, in Paris, anywhere you go. The Rebbe inspired a generation. And this week we're going to touch upon different things that will help us inspire ourselves, especially in these times when we need that extra dose. And I want to talk about leadership. The Rebbe was an exemplary leader. I believe, and I've spoken to a few professors, questioning why they never studied in business school the way the Rebbe took a small movement that survived the Second World War and the Holocaust with a handful of Hasidim. In 1950, when the Rebbe took over the leadership from his father-in-law in America, the entire Chabad community in New York fit into a room of 100 people. Today, it's a different world. How did the Rebbe take a small group that was shattered by the Holocaust, families, my family included, had to start from the beginning again, like many people, and build the most powerful Jewish movement, and doing it in a way that is different than anyone else does it. Chabad is a very decentralized organization. It was not controlled from the top. We were all inspired and sent by the Rebbe, but everyone runs on their own inertia. Everyone is an entrepreneur. Everyone started from scratch. This is a business book should be written. But obviously what's greater is what's written about the Jewish people, because the Rebbe revived a people like no other leader in our history has done, except when we had Moses, King David, and Solomon, when all the Jews were together in one place. But where we're spread out around the world and yet have such an influence to raise up a nation, to raise up a people, and it's not only Jews, many, many, many non-Jews were following the Rebbe, were inspired by the Rebbe, came to the Rebbe for advice and blessing. And as such a leader, you would think that the Rebbe commanded an incredible amount of respect from his followers, and the Rebbe was looking to create more and more followers. Today when someone wants to say how successful they are, artists and celebrities and the presidents, they talk about how many followers do they have on Twitter, how many followers do they have on Instagram or on Facebook, how many followers do they have in all these places. But the Rebbe took a different path. The Rebbe from the beginning, and in his first talk when he assumed the leadership officially in 1951 was that I will not be like the other leaders that want people to follow and to flock to me and to just eat out every word of mine to make me feel better and stronger. I want to inspire and charge a people who will go out, maybe inspired by here, but go out and become their own leaders. I want people, the best should go out and do exactly what I'm doing, inspire others and become leaders. And the Rebbe took not people who passed the litmus test if they have leadership qualities, not people who necessarily had the greatest IQs and they were promising, or people would have been great within any industry they went into. The Rebbe took anyone who had a great desire for Judaism and a great desire to fulfill Hashem's will, to create an army. And everyone who stepped into the fray has become an incredible leader. Some have done such work that it's against all odds how they built such an organization, even though they were not maybe the most suited in terms of, if you look at their education, of ability to manage, to grow, to lead. We didn't, but we learned leadership from the Rebbe. We learned leadership from the Torah that he taught. We learned leadership from the Rebbe's total dedication to the people, his total love of a fellow Jew. And we'll talk about more of those values later on. But the Rebbe wanted to create leaders. And Rabbi Jonathan Sachs put it in the best words, and he said that most leaders look to create followers. The Rebbe led by trying to create more and more leaders and sent them away from Crown Heights and said, go away from here and become your own leader. This is why everyone was endeared to the Rebbe as well, because the Rebbe was no ego in the Rebbe's leadership at all. The Rebbe's disseminating Torah and Judaism in the most beautiful way, joy, depth. There was no ego. It was all about the serving of Hashem. It was all about the person that he was trying to talk to and teach. And that's what the Rebbe taught us as well. So we all have to strive to be leaders. It's enough just following other people. We cannot be followers. Mashiach will not come. The world will not transform as long as we are followers. We live in a world of leadership where everyone has to assume that level of leadership. And it's happening in society as well. You know, years ago, everyone wanted to be part of a big organization where there was a CEO and then there was the chain of command. And as long as you were somewhere there, you felt confident and secure. Today, everyone wants to be their own boss. That's exactly what this generation is all about. The generation that will prepare for Mashiach's generation where everyone becomes their own leader. Everyone motivates themselves. Everyone creates their own inertia, their own movement. So today's message is become a leader. Don't shy away. Don't talk yourself down. And don't look as if you're not capable. If God put you here, you are capable and you can make it happen. And from today, I hope you will make it happen. Have a great day.